chosen ones is the struggle behind the stone. The struggle behind the stone. So I'm going to be speaking on the significance of threes, 333. As we know, Jesus was in the tomb for 3 days. Jonah was in the mouth of the fish for 3 days. So there's so much significance about the number 3. Also, we have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, the Trinity. So 3 is a very specific number, especially when it comes to the chosen ones. Now, some people message me and they're like, what does it mean to be a chosen one? This, that, and the other. If you feel called to the message, you feel called to the message, period. Also, I do want to address, I'm going to be speaking about near-death experiences later on, because that is something else. If anyone in your family has ever been plagued by mysterious illnesses, mysterious things happening in your family, near-death experiences, things like this, 100% you are chosen. Despite what your current belief system is, you are a chosen one. All right, so again, this is the struggle behind the stone. You see, Jesus wasn't supposed to come back to, like many people didn't want him to. They didn't think that he was going to. And yet, even the disciples themselves were caught off guard whenever he, in fact, did come back. And so, chosen ones, you can have certain experiences in your life where people wanted you to fall off the map. And the Bible even says this. It's often those closest to us who condemn us, who curse us. And this is going to be addressing curses, because Jesus was indeed cursed by being put on the cross. In fact, it even says in the Bible, I need to find this. Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us and hanging on the cross. For it is written, cursed is everyone who is hung on a tree. So he redeemed us so that by our own faith we may receive the same blessing from the same curse. So, if you don't believe in curses, first of all, God wouldn't have deliverance from evil. He wouldn't have deliverance from curses if they didn't exist. So denying them does not actually make them disappear. It just makes you ignorant and makes you someone in denial. So again, speaking on curses and blessings from them. It is a blessing whenever you experience a curse, or when your family or your bloodline experiences curses, because it is saying you are indeed a chosen one, because Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse himself and raising up from the dead after 3 days and 3 nights. Now, this is Galatians 3:13, 14, by the way, for my Bible lovers who want to check that out in the Bible and see that. In Matthew 10:34, Jesus also says, do not think that I have come to bring peace to this earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. He has come to speak the truth. And because of that, Matthew 10:22, and you will be hated by all for my name's sake, but the one who endures to the end will be saved. And so, of course, whenever we speak the truth, whenever we have this, just like I said in the other Chosen One video that I just most recently did, you are going to have pushback. You are going to have afflictions put against you whenever you really start speaking up. And so, Chosen Ones, so many people will start going on a new path. They'll really start following their calling. And what stunts them and their family and their bloodline from really pushing through is when they're met with that resistance. And one of my favorite pastors, Craig Groeschel, always speaks about this. But if you aren't feeling pushback, if you're not feeling resistance, then you're not really walking in faith. You're not really living in faith. And another thing is, if you're like, well, I have faith, but I'm not experiencing the healing that I need. My family isn't experiencing the change that we need, whether that's healing in your body, your finances, and your relationships, and your interpersonal relationships. And, he says in Matthew 9:28-29, Jesus said to the blind men, he has a couple blind men come up to him, and they ask if, they'll grant them their sight back. And he says, do you believe that I'm able to do this? And they said, yes, Lord. Then he touched their eyes and he said, according to your faith, be it done to you. And their eyes opened. Now, there are multiple times in the Bible that Jesus has encounters with people asking of him to heal them. And sometimes it doesn't happen, sometimes it does. But it was always in accordance to their faith. And then, in another previous time when the disciples were unable to heal a man and his son, Jesus said, oh, you fools. Like, he said, you fools. And he was like, they're like, why couldn't we do the healing, but you could? And again, it was because of them lacking faith. And so this isn't a bad thing to lack faith. However, faith is something that we can always work on. It's just like a muscle, just like going to the gym and getting in your workout, which is important because I spoke about this in another Chosen One video, that God cannot bestow the blessings upon us when we have a weak foundation. And so if your foundation itself is not healthy, you can be the most spiritual person upstairs. You can have a heart that is devoted and in honor of God and Jesus Christ. But if you do not have a strong physical foundation, if you're not working on the health of your physical vessel and physical foundation, then it is absolutely impossible for God to bestow the blessings upon you that he desires to bestow upon you and your family, because your foundation will crumble. It's not strong enough to hold the responsibility and the weight of that blessing, because responsibility comes with our blessings. And so there's something here, chosen ones, again, about making sure that you're honoring your body, that you're honoring your vessel, that you are making sure that every day you're doing something to help the foundation get stronger. Because if you're not helping the foundation get stronger, then indeed you will never really feel and be bestowed upon that blessing. So again, today is the struggle behind the stone, feeling isolated. So chosen ones, write in that comment box section, I am unshakable, I am unstoppable, I am eternal, because that's what happens whenever you fully have faith. When you have faith in him, then indeed he always comes through. In 1 Peter 1 and 2, he says, who have been chosen according to God the Father through the sanctifying work of the Spirit for their obedience and their faith to Jesus Christ, cleansed by his blood, may grace and peace bestow you in abundance. And so there are many different kinds of curses, insecurity, lethargy, gluttony, envy, jealousy, complacency, not listening to the quiet whispers and then needing them to become roaring trains or loud towers that crumble in your life until you listen. And that's okay, because any day, any moment, you can choose to step into the walk of faith. Any moment, you can choose to guide your family towards that. Any moment, that is your choice. And it's such a beautiful thing, because people don't believe it until they actually experience it. And they can't experience it until they really start to work on their foundation, because then like I keep saying, he cannot bestow the blessing into your life. He cannot pour the blessing into your hands if your foundation, if your hands are not strong enough to carry the weight of that, the responsibility of that. In John 10:26 through 28, Jesus, his word says, but you do not believe, for you are not my sheep. And I said to you that my sheep hear my voice. I know them, for they hear my voice, and they follow me. I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish, and neither shall anyone snatch them out of my hand. And so, again, just speaking here, that if you want to lift a curse, all it takes, lift a curse from your family, your generations, your body. If you want to lift a curse, a repeated curse on you, this can be constant car accidents, constant breakups, constantly struggling with an addiction, constantly struggling with a family member. If you want to lift these, all you have to do is make a choice to walk in faith and give it over to him. Because essentially what a curse is you're handing your own power to somebody else, or you're allowing your power to be snatched by somebody else. But when we fully step into faith, when we fully give up our own power and our own control, and we hand it over to God, we hand it over to Jesus, we say, I don't want it anymore, it's yours. I will listen to you, and you will know me because I am listening to you. So that's time in prayer. This can be walking, this can be running, this can be sitting and quite literally, in a typical prayer seat. This can be going to church, this can be time with your Bible, this can be time journaling, this can be time making art if you're an artist. This can be whatever it is for you, where you feel in your heart that connection to God, because it is through the heart center. And for everyone, it's going to look different. For some people, it's going to be through dance. For some people, it's going to be through painting. For some people, it's going to be through playing a musical instrument. For some people, it's going to be out in their garden getting food. It's going to be taking care of animals. For different people, they honor God and they have that relationship with prayer, that honor to him in a different way. And it's going to be different for everyone, and that's okay, and that's beautiful, and it's designed to be different for everyone. No one is supposed to judge us based on our own interaction with that, but we are each responsible for our connection to that connection, to the connection to God, to the connection to Christ. So I just want to really hammer it in. If you are feeling that you've ever been put under any sort of curse, if you feel anyone in your family, if you feel any person and your generations. And sometimes people can say, like, I walk a great life, but that doesn't mean necessarily that your ancestors did. So sometimes we can, still be carrying the curses of our bloodlines. And it's not supposed to be something that we look at as, oh no, I can't do anything about this, because that's not true. You always can do something about it simply by calling your power back and handing it over to him and allowing him to snatch the power away from the devil, away from Satan, away from everything that has been cursing you. Because again, as he says in John 10:26-28, I give them eternal life and they shall never perish, neither shall anyone snatch them out of my hand. So write in the comment section, I hear his voice, therefore I will never perish. I hear his voice, therefore I will never perish. No curse will snatch you out of his hand once you hand your life over to him. All right, I'm now going to do a weekend read for the signs. So I'm going to start with Capricorn, per usual, going through to Sagittarius. And we're going to do angel messages, as I've been doing lately. So Capricorn, angel messages, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Capricorn, angel message, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Capricorn, you are being told to rest this weekend, kind of just how this message is, the struggle behind the stone. You are being asked to step back. You are being asked to, if you're someone who you really need to push forth in your work, that's okay, but less is more at this time. There's something here about really allowing yourself to ease into grace, ease into harmony, and focus on where you can invite more peace and harmony into your weekend and allow God to truly handle things and take care of things. When we try and handle things and take care of things, then we're making it of the flesh. And when we make it of the flesh, then you kind of have already lost the battle there. So there's something here of gaining freedom from oppression, freedom from persecutors or slanderers by allowing yourself to truly hand it over to Spirit. There's also a child on the other side. This can be a pet. This can be for any of my Capricorns who have ever been through miscarriages or abortions with someone. I'm sorry, but I have to say because I'm seeing it. But there is a child spirit here that is on the other side, Capricorn. Again, this can be a pet. It can be an actual child. There is someone here on the other side, and they're here with you. They also are wanting you to speak with them more from your heart, because you can actually connect to their spirit still. And this can be something where it's almost like giving yourself permission to connect to the spirit of that child or the spirit of that animal is actually going to be the healing that God is trying to bestow upon you so that you may receive your blessing. But you're actually stopping yourself from receiving the blessing because you haven't asked yourself to hear what that child on the other side or that animal on the other side is desiring to communicate to you. There's also something here about gaining success through working on your health. So Saturn is really strongly aspected here. Saturn, father of time, it's delayed but not denied. So Capricorn, something in your life is not denied, it's just being delayed. And it's being delayed because of some part of you that Spirit is wanting you to really gain harmony and peace and grace with, so that whenever you are bestowed with this huge blessing, it's huge, Capricorn, and yes, I'm seeing citrine, I'm seeing jade, so stones of finances. So finances look good here. Yellow and green are highly aspected. Green is of the heart chakra, and yellow is the solar plexus, which has to do with your own self-worth. And from your self-worth, making sure that it's not from a place of ego, but it's from a place of being heart-centered, that you feel self-worthy, not because you look good, but you look good because you take care of your body and you take care of your health. See, it's different. So it's like, yeah, I look good and I look all these things, but it's not because I'm vain, it's because I care about the vessel and I want the vessel to be healthy. And as a symptom of the vessel being healthy and taken care of, it's naturally going to be sexy as it's gonna look good. So, all right, after Capricorn is Aquarius. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share. This will be over on YouTube after. All right, Aquarius, you are being told to really step in your unique beauty and authenticity. You are being shielded against making errors that your ops are trying to bestow upon you. So Aquarius, someone in your life is trying to lead you astray. They're trying to make you make decisions. They're trying to make you do things that aren't actually good for you, that you know in your heart don't align with your morals and what you really believe in your heart. I'm also hearing the song, You'll Be in My Heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. So someone here, this can also connect to the Capricorn reading that I just did. So I'm not seeing the children here, but it's coming through the spirit of flowers. So there is a passed down loved one coming through the spirit of sunflowers and daisies. Sunflowers and daisies are definitely of significance here. And also the spirit animal of dolphin. So, you know, dolphins are very playful. They're highly intelligent. They're emotionally intelligent. They can also outwit sharks and, you know, outsmart different things in the sea. And so again, you're being shielded against making an error that your enemies are trying to bestow upon you, Aquarius. So there is something here about being liberated also from oppression, having a strong strategy. That was also another thing that I had written for a later Chosen Ones video. It's not about being the strongest, it's about having strategy. So whenever we're up against evil, whenever we're up against anything of the devil, it's not about being stronger than the demonic forces, it's about having greater strategy than them. And dolphins are very strategic animals. So Aquarius, there's something here about really using your strategy and having discernment in the words that you speak and being strategic about how you say things. There's also something here about foreigners. You actually get along better with people that are not of your race. People not of your race will understand you more, especially with what you're walking into. There's also something here focused on teachers, mentors. You could be a mentor or a teacher. If you are, you know, the best teachers are students first, and teachers second. So Aquarius, if you want to become a better teacher, become a student of something new and watch your teaching just kind of elevate from that alone. There's also something here about maintaining commitments, and this can be commitment to your own artistic talents that spirit is wanting you to bring forth in a stronger, more honorable way. And this can also mean more honorable just by you speaking up more or by you spending more time devoted to your art. All right, after Aquarius is Pisces. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Pisces. Again, this will be time-stamped over on YouTube after this video is done. Please hit that like, subscribe, and share the video if you feel called. All right, Pisces, you are a painter. You're an artist. Own your craft. A lot of my Pisces, you really are, though. You also have a lot of children around you. Chipmunks and squirrels are strong spirit animals for you. I spoke about that in a Chosen One video a couple ones ago, so you may want to check. I think it was the where I'm wearing the lion costume one. I think I spoke about it in that one. All right. Pisces, there's something here that you need to use more common sense. There's something here about the more that you guide children and guide pets or are seen as a guide for children or pets, the more that your work and your art blossoms and blooms. So for my Pisces who could be struggling for getting more creative insights, you are being told that if you're kind of struggling in your creativity, spending more time with your children or with other people's children, spending more time with your animals or others' animals will actually make that creativity pour in. Also listening to the violin. So for any of my Pisces who are artists, if you listen to the violin, that is highly favored here for you to also gain insight from listening to the violin. You may want to try listening to the violin before you fall asleep, or maybe, you know, when you're actually painting. There's also something here about changing your environment. You are being told to put yourself out there more. And in doing so, this means like you have to share your work more. So you're being told to amp it up, but you amp it up not by trying harder, but by connecting with the energy of innocence and purity, which comes through children and animals more. All right, after Pisces is Aries. Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, Aries. Aries. I'm hearing the worship song, "Come fall on us, we fall on you. A thankful heart will be our rhythm. Come fall on us." You have eagle here. Eagles fly heights that crows cannot reach, Aries. So you got some crows squawking mad because they can't reach you because you're an eagle. You also have diplomacy here, political success, work politics, and you have the card of all of the angels. Literally, it's the apex of transformation, being in perfect balance and control, being appreciated by society because you appreciate your creator, having a life of completion and perfection after an extremely difficult period completely being overcome by you completely appreciating your creator. This is also your mother, your father, not just God, spirit, source energy, but it's also your own parents. There's something here, Aries, about karmic debts being repaid and love being returned to you tenfold. There's something here about regeneration, so this can be in the body or this can be in relationships, connections that you're experiencing. You do have turtle spirit here as well. Remember the tortoise and the hare, slow and steady wins the race, Aries. So even though sometimes Aries can get the, what is it called? Why can't I think of the word? And people, I'm gonna think of it. People will say the reputation. People will say that Aries has a reputation of being impulsive and not being patient. But I'm speaking to an Aries that is definitely higher vibing now, and they actually are some of the most patient energies. And they also, Aries is seen as the baby of the zodiac, but it's also the leader of the zodiac. And there's so much I want to say on this, but I'm just trying to simmer certain things. There's something here, Aries, about the purity of your heart just shows. It can't be denied. Your purity just shows, and it's going to piss off other people's demons, and it's going to trigger them. However, eagles fly heights that crows cannot reach, Aries. So you're safe, and never let anyone get you to try and become the hare when you know that you're the tortoise, and slow and steady wins the race, and you have that hard shell protecting you. Visualizing like a golden aura around you, just protecting you, a shield anytime any demonic forces, any curses are trying to be projected onto you. Just imagining being shielded by that golden light, Aries, is going to be highly protective. And it's going to be interesting because people will maybe think that you cast something upon them, when the fact is what they projected out to you only bounced back to them because you are protected and you are innocent and you are pure. And so that's the funny thing about it, Aries, is you could have people talking and saying certain things about you, but this annuls their lies and their incoherences. So people are being incoherent and they're lying because they're upset about certain things that are happening in their life that they actually bestowed upon themselves by trying to throw something negative at you. You see, you can't touch a chosen one. You can't touch someone who's actually pure and innocent, living from their heart and being a protector of animals and children and nature. You literally can't touch them. They're protected. Even if they don't have the strong, certain set belief, if you are a protector of children, animals, and nature, they cannot touch you, Aries, and it's always going to bounce back to them, and that's going to piss them off and make them talk about you. So, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, Taurus. Taurus, you have the sword here. So this is much like the Bible verse that I was speaking at the beginning of this video, in the Chosen One, where Jesus says, I was not brought here to bring peace, I was brought here to bring the sword. I was brought here to bring the sword. That is the truth. The sword and the stone. And you know, this whole video, the preface of it is the struggle behind the stone. So for some of my Taurans, you can feel like you're trying to stab a stone through, or a sword through stone. But as we know, the sword and the stone, it takes a very specific energy signature to be able to do that. It takes a very specific honor of faith. Moldavite would be a really powerful crystal for you to wear. My cross is Moldavite, my earrings are Moldavite. I always wear Moldavite. I'm always protected by Moldavite. It's one of my favorite energy signatures to work with. So for a lot of my Taurans, this will help you clear out imposters, but it will also help you clear out your own imposter syndrome. Because for some of my Taurans, it's like you're almost fearful of your own power because you're extremely powerful. You're the bull. And for some of my Taurans, you try and be like, the milk cow, Bessie the milk cow, I'm just friendly, da-da-da. And Spirit is like, no. There is some stuff going on, Taurus, and you need to clear it out. Jesus says, I was not here to bring peace. I was brought here to bring the sword. And Taurus, you were brought in a situation that you need to lay down the sword. Even if your voice shakes, you need to speak that truth. You need to get it out there. This energy, it's Nehemiah, supports grandiose energy, like grandiose gestures. So there's something here, Taurus, where you're being told you have a sense of duty, like this is duty bestowed upon you. So you are being told to be clear and dutiful and to step forth. And there's also something here about needing to change your habits. This can also be needing a new environment because the people around you have poor habits and their habits bleed upon you and kind of bleed into your parameter because you're around them. There's also something here about stepping out of being lazy or timid or being unsure, and just honoring the sword that you were handed, because there is a sword and a stone here for some of my Taurans, and you are the only person who can grab that sword out of that stone. All right, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Gemini. All right, Gemini, you're being told, some of my Geminis could be in sports, being very competitive. Zeus is here, the lightning bolt is here. This makes me think of the Tower card. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, or something here could have happened in October or November that is still mulling over from then until now, or something could be very significant about this upcoming October or November for you. There is immediate success in your competitions. So for my Geminis who are fighters, athletes of any sorts, you are going to win here. For any of my Geminis who had an injury, you are being told to pray with your hands over that body part, to literally put your own hands, because you have healing hands. There's something here about giving your power over to him and allowing him to bestow his power into you. So it's like, rather than you trying to fleshly change a situation, hand it over to the divine, and then surrender yourself to be used as a vessel from the divine to heal that ailment within you. Because there's something here like, this can be like torn, torn something in the knee. This can be like ankle. This can be something in the shoulder I'm feeling. This can be something in the hands. But there's something here where it's like you can actually heal this by also releasing and shedding anger or old resentments. So Gemini, a good mantra for you would just be I, and then say your name. So be like, I'll just use myself for an example. I, Valerie, release old resentments. I, Valerie, give myself permission to release old resentments. I, Valerie, know what it feels like to release old resentments. And saying those three things repeatedly into a mirror and allowing yourself to just feel that energy diffuse. You also have artistic talents that Spirit is wanting you to be bestowed upon. So for some of my Geminis, you gain the most success when you both work on an art form and a physical form in your body, including athletics. So if you're an artist, you need to be more athletic. If you're an athlete, then you need to do something more artistic, and that's going to increase your athletic abilities because you're only as strong as your weakest pillar. All right, and frankincense and myrrh are coming through, which were what the wise men bestowed upon Jesus when he was born. So there's something here about being, maybe even some of my Geminis are being like reborn in their faith, but frankincense and myrrh are coming through. All right, after Gemini is Cancer. Cancer, you could be dealing with a Pisces. You have Peacock, so you're being told, I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's what I love. So some of my Cancers, you are coming out. I'm hearing, coming out, so you better get this party started. I'm coming out. So is that pink? Jupiter, big energy, big blessings bestowed upon you, Cancer. There's something here about coming out. There's something here about shedding light on parts of yourself that you haven't fully expressed. Maybe some people closest to you know about them, but you haven't fully come out with something. And as I said in one of my previous Chosen One messages, it's on the title of it, is that you are not honoring God when you're denying your God-given talents. Like, by hiding and living small, you are living a sinful life. No matter what you believe, I don't care what belief system you believe in, when you live small, you suffocate and you stifle and you harm your own heart, period. You just do. And so there's something here, Cancer, about to be rebalanced and to bring your energy system in a state of equilibrium and to heal and recover. You are required to come out in a certain new way here, Cancer. There's also something here about adversity, gossip and slander, speaking the truth, being very punctual, so making sure that you're on time to certain things. There could be mishaps or quarrels with legal stuff or work. So there's something here, Cancer, about making sure that you are impeccable with your word and making sure that you actually, like, you're being directed. It's like where you're trying to be safe, You'll know that it's not working because there's like mishaps and quarrels with that safety. Whereas if you were actually to redirect your profession and take a huge risk, but it's something that, again, that you are wanting to come out towards Cancer, then you would have immediate instant success because God would bestow upon you that blessing because your foundation is in your heart. And where you're at or what you're doing right now or what hasn't been working for you has a shaky foundation because your heart isn't fully in it. All right, after Cancer is Leo. Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Leo, please hit that like button and subscribe. All right. Leo, there is Serenity. You also could be dealing with Cancer because we have the Peacock card here as well. So Leo, similar energy. You have reconciliations and negotiations if you are able to fully speak your truth in a certain situation. So God is wanting to bring charity upon a relationship to deepen it. He wants to protect the family from unsteadiness, but this actually requires, it's like, okay, this is just what I'm seeing for some of my Leos. For some of my Leos, you could have a different like sexual taste or flavor, like some things that you want to explore or experience, or some things that are visually appealing to you, or something that you think, or something that your spouse, you know, like would never be for. And in relationships, it's required that we compromise. It's also required, though, that we have dutiful honesty and that we are forthright with our own desires and we do not hide them. There's something here where when you enter the covenant of marriage, for some of my Leos who are married, you are saying that you agree to meet your partner halfway, and this also means in sexual things. There's a list online if you look up will, want, won't list, and I feel like for a lot of my Leos, it would be really helpful for you and your partner to kind of go through that list and find a middle ground so that not only will you have like a deeper, more meaningful and intimate sensual, because sensuality is here, creativity and sensuality. So for a lot of my Leos, like one of the partners is bored and is like there's not enough creativity or sensuality here, and the other one is feeling like abandoned or feeling not good enough or is feeling like low self-esteem, and it's like this can all be cured by actual communication, sitting down and going through that worksheet and really having an honest conversation about trying new things in the bedroom, trying new things when it comes to sensuality, trying new things. And then it's not only going to increase the partner who is feeling like insecure or feeling abandoned, it's going to increase their self-worth, which is going to make them more sexy. It's also going to make the other person feel more satisfied, and it's going to be easier for that person to step away from any of their sins that they've been, you know, abiding in when it comes to, you know, whatever they're looking at. And the prun one, trying to be careful on my words because I know they get weird about words on here. All right, that was like a very specific message. Anything else for Leos? Yes. Okay, for some of my Leos, Spirit is saying you need to have sympathy upon someone, or someone needs to have sympathy upon you. There's something here about work interviews. So some of my Leos, you have work interviews coming up. You could be good when it comes to business affairs. You're meant to be an entertainer or a doctor or a healer of sorts, or a journalist. You're really good with your words, your writing. You could write really good copy for yourself or for others' businesses. Movement should be your first priority of every morning, and breath work should be your second priority, and everything else will follow after that, even if it's just 5 minutes of movement, 5 minutes of shaking, 5 minutes of dancing, 5 minutes of squats, whatever it is, and then 5 minutes of breath work, whatever kind of breath work that is for you, whether it's alternate nostril breathing to bring balance in, or whether it's Wim Hof to kind of rev yourself up, or you know, whether it's like box breathing to find like continuity and peacefulness. There are so many different types of breathing techniques. All right, after Leo is Virgo. Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Virgo. Virgo, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So for a lot of my Virgos, there's something here, kind of goes back to the beginning of this message, the struggle behind the stone and family curses. You can feel like something is generationally passed down to you, something is unfair, there's something here, tension between a family member or between family members. Virgo, there's something here that the owl is bestowed upon you, and the archer, and a harp. So someone here could be like I'm hearing target. So someone here is being targeted, or someone here is targeting someone, and it's preventing everything from moving forward in a situation. There's something here about real estate, property, or this can even be, what's it called? Oh my gosh. Custody. So custody or real estate can kind of be coming up here for some of my Virgos. You are also being told to spend more time in nature, having a green thumb, taking a mud bath, getting into gardening. If you don't have any area around you to garden, you could just go to a class. Like I know so many businesses have, like so many plant businesses and plant companies have like those new things where you can like go in and like make a pot of different plants, and they can like go in. It's kind of like a paint and sip for like, you know, where you go in and you paint the canvas and sip on wine or water, whatever you want to drink. But they have like similar ones with like build your little like cactus home, or build like these plants, or like air plants, make your little air plant pod. Because there's something here, Virgo, about bringing more nature into your home and more nature into your hands in the earth. Virgo, you are an earth sign, so there is something here about gaining more sincerity through connecting to the earth more, because for some of my Virgos, there can be just too much busyness in the head, too much in the mind, too much technology, too much city, too much concrete is what I'm hearing for some of my Virgos. And you need to listen to relaxing music, so that could be listening to the harp. You also, there's something here about threats and difficulties, but it's like you're only being, God will never present you with something that you cannot handle. So if you're being presented with a difficulty, if you're being presented with any threat, then know that it's something that you will be able to overcome and you will be able to push through. But also remember that if you are putting that upon anyone else, then you're only going to make things harder for yourself as well. There's something here about softening and not being hard as a rock, because some of my Virgos in some area of your life, you're like hard as a rock or stubborn as a rock, and there's something here that needs to soften with that. All right, after Virgo is Libra. Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. So Libra, it requires huge effort to achieve brilliant success, but with huge effort will come success. So there is something here for my Libras about also paranormal activity. So for some of my Libras, you could be seeing things, hearing things. This is an ancestor that is trying to bestow upon you some knowledge that they perhaps never really got to live out. For some of my Libras, there is something here about confusion or mental things coming up. So something, please see a doctor. I'm just going to say that for some of my Libras, because it's coming out in like 3 different cards. So please see a doctor. For some of my Libras, there is something here about a 6th generation. So this can be 6 generations back or 6 generations from now, connecting to that energy through dreaming, through safe journeying. So this can be like with a drum, you can do this with shakers, you can do this, I do this with my harp, honestly, a lot, or any kind of relaxing music, and just going into that meditative space and working on putting yourself in a theta state. Also, Dolores Cannon is a great, if you can find a practitioner of Dolores Cannon who does her therapy technique, then you can kind of do like past life regressions or going back to different ancestors. If this is something that you're like, I have no idea what Valerie's talking about, what the heck, then you can look up on her website. Also, quantum healing technique is in that as well. There's something here, Libra, about your work, about laziness or inconsistency, loss for liars or those doing wrong behavior, dreaminess but ungrounded. So, and then we have lazy and timid. So I'm sorry, this is like, I'm not gonna lie, this is, I think it was this way for the last one. So I don't know if this is you, Libra, or someone that you're dealing with, but there is some Libra here who puts too much energy looking at other people's lives. And that is why it's seen as lazy or lying, because you can look at someone and be like, they don't deserve that, they don't deserve this. How is this person? And this can even be like subconscious. You can look at someone all the time that you say you admire, but there's like a seed, only a mustard seed of jealousy or envy is required for it to really completely take over your body. And this is why I say see a doctor, because for some of my Libras, you need to see a doctor, because there's something that's manifest that's not just up here anymore. because everything that is in our body starts up here. And it starts up here because what we're feeding ourselves. You are what you eat, you are what you consume, Libra. So there's something here about consuming only cleanliness, consuming only healthy thoughts, consuming only healthy foods, consuming only things of the light, consuming only, and being able to catch yourself the moment that you have a moment of like jealousy or envy or looking at someone feeling that they don't deserve something when you have no idea the trials and tribulations that they've endured. No idea. No idea. Unless you've been in that person's body and that person's life for their years of life, which you haven't at all. Especially for a lot of my Libras, there is something here about, it's like a rivalry. And it's so silly because it's like you're only hurting yourself. You're not hurting the other person by thinking negative thoughts or by any, and if you're dealing with someone that's doing this towards you and you're on the receiving end of this, it is affecting you in some way because you are allowing yourself to receive this. So again, I would go back to the beginning of this message where I was speaking the chosen one message, where I'm speaking about curses, where I'm speaking about how to break these things, where I'm speaking about how to release yourself of these things. Because even if you're not the one doing these things, Libra, then it's someone doing them at you. But for some of my Libras that are watching this, it is you that needs to change a certain habit here. And it starts with the habit of changing your thoughts. All right, I'm sorry, I really am trying to only provide positive messages, but they are what they are. So, all right, after Libra is Scorpio. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Scorpio. Scorpio, there's something here about needing to rest and recover and relax. For some of my Scorpios, you could be a bit of an insomniac. You could be a night owl. I'm a night owl, so I understand. Although I've been pretty proud of myself for going to bed a little earlier the last few nights. There's something here about the rooster and the peacock. Okay, so there could be competition here. Although this is also a power couple. For some of my Scorpios, if you are a man, then your spirit animal is like being a rooster. Like you are designed to like wake up and be like, cock-a-doodle-doo! Like, and it can annoy some people, but the other people are so grateful that you woke them up. So for some of my Scorpios, you could quite literally be in the energy or in the business of waking people up. So you could be someone who, does similar work like this. And that's obviously going to piss some people off. However, it's also going to be really received well and appreciated by those who enjoy you sharing what you've been through, and that's powerful. Now, for some of my Scorpio women, it's the peacock energy here as well. So it's like you are supposed to show your talents. You're supposed to show your beauty. You're supposed to be a divine feminine embodiment, and that's going to piss some people off. Especially masculinized women are going to be threatened by your femininity, and that's silly. And for some of my Scorpios, you are not supposed to dim your light or dim your divine feminine energy just because another woman is put off by you being strong in your divine feminine. If anything, she should see it as encouraging and as something that she should look up to so that she can invite that energy within herself. And Scorpio, you're just being told here that you are supposed to be loud and proud. Peacocks are bold. Roosters are loud. So Scorpio, be loud, be bold. You also here are foreigners prefer you over your own race. I know I experienced that. Like my biggest fans and my biggest supporters are never people that, I know I look white, but it's like white people are always my least supporters and my biggest haters, and then people of different colors and ethnicities are always my biggest supporters. And it's funny how that is. It's like there's something here, Scorpio, about you are most understood by people who are unlike what you look like, and you're heavily misunderstood by those who look your color and your race because they're threatened by you. But don't let their being threatened by you dim your light, because again, you are the rooster and you are the peacock, and God is saying you are supposed to step. This is where your heart is. This is what He bestowed upon you. You're also being told here that you will find a suitable job that actually appreciates you in your full power, and you are supposed to just keep, chopping wood and carrying water and keep pushing through the naysayers and keep pushing through the energies that are trying to make some instability in your life. So there could be like thoughts here of instability when you have a noble spirit, you have protection from envy and from betrayal, you have good, sincere opportunities and job and work, but it does seem for some of them that you will have to travel or move for these things. You also have a rival, that could be an ex that just doesn't want to forget you. You're being told, though, that you have guaranteed success from them. So for some of my Scorpios who have like a spiteful, hateful ex, they're only hurting themselves. They can't touch you. Da-da-da-da, da-da, da-da. Can't touch this. So for my Scorpios, don't worry. They can't touch you. You also have Jupiter energy, which is the energy of abundance. Anything that Jupiter touches, it expands, and you're being told here that your aura is brightening at this time. So again, cock-a-doodle-doo, let it out and let your peacock feathers shine, Scorpio. All right, after Scorpio is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Sagittarius, you are being liberated through something natural. You are also being purified through fire, flames, herbs. Okay, so fire, when I think of this, red light therapy could be really, really powerful for my Sagittarians. I love red light therapy. I have a PEMF mat, which is a pulsed electromagnetic field mat, and it also has red light photons that come out of it, and the mat is made out of tourmaline and jade, which are really good for abundance, but it's also really good for protection. I lay on that thing every night for 30 minutes, and then I also have red light panels that I put over my face and over my stomach and over my heart, and I cannot tell you A, how amazing my skin has been from doing that, but B, like my doctors, literally my doctors are like, they're wondering like what the heck I'm doing, because they're like, how are you healing so quickly? Like, you're like, literally my acupuncturist this week was, he like checks, you know, he checks the pulse, checks your tongue, and he was like, big transformation here. Like, wow, big transformation. And it's because healing through natural therapies and natural things. So I eat a perfect diet for my blood type and my body. I have been prioritizing my sleep. I prioritize my exercise. I prioritize, you know, pulsed electromagnetic therapy and red light therapy. I prioritize playing my instrument for at least 15 to 20 minutes a day, because that actually has a huge effect on our central nervous system and our vagus nerve, and a lot of things in your body. Nothing can heal in your body if your vagus nerve is like stressed out and is in a fight or flight constant thing. So for some of my Sagittarians, you could have some issues with your vagus nerve here. You could be in constant fight or flight. Purification through fire, so that is through heat. You are musically talented, so for a lot of my Sagittarians, if you don't play an instrument, then think of an instrument that you would like to learn how to play and start taking lessons, because your health will only improve by you doing that. Sagittarius, you're also being told that you have a fighting spirit. Your inner authenticity is being activated at this time, and it's activated more as you purify yourself through fire. Fire is, I do not fear the flames of self-discovery. The flames of self-discovery will not burn you, Sagittarius. It will only burn everything that you are not. So for a lot of my Sagittarians, you're going through an entire like rewrite, reworkup. You're going through a tire, like just a tire cleanse. And Spirit is also protecting you from theft or from accidents. So there's something here of just, you know, you are protected, but just be a little extra cautious, because you could see bad accidents happening around you, or you could see theft happening around you. But just know that you are protected in this. All right, I love you guys. If you'd like a personal reading, please hit me up. Bless you.